Hello, my name is Troy Vincent. This is a special episode of Truth Is, and I just wanted to. I'm going to kind of wing this show because there's so much to talk about, so much that's going on, and I wanted to give y'all a little bit of insight into, how we originally planned to do this years ago. We started to do Truth Is, and well, things happened. My wife passed away, so we never really followed through, and we had a lot of definite ideas about some of the things we were going to do. And short of being not Wayne's World or like Wayne's World, because we wanted to kind of improvise as we went, and ended up with everything going wrong in the world. I ended up being political more than anything. So we'll get to that in a minute. Welcome back. The thing is, and I guess I'll start right at the beginning of this, of the explanation of what me and my niece had actually originally, and me and my niece and nephew originally were planning on doing a show. Of course, at that point, I hadn't named it, but I picked the name just not long after that, and then my wife passed away. We were gonna do Truth Is like, almost like I don't know, comedy. That's what we wanted to do. We were gonna do like trying out new products, and we were gonna, of course, we were gonna end up spoofing them, and sort of like they did with Wayne's World. I don't know if you remember when he did the little hair thing and suck cut. Was that what it was called? And so we wanted to do funny things, and the way the world works, and things got a little too serious. And this is one of the things, first points I want to make. To people, I became disabled in 2015. I have osteoarthritis in my knees. I have severe cold-induced asthma, and my lung cells do close off when I get into cold air. I start wheezing. You'll hear it like almost instantly. But anyway, that's not what this show is about. What I wanted to talk about, and here, let me move this camera just a little bit without getting the glare from the ceiling light here. I grew up very poor, and I have to go over my life story to explain my stance on things here. And one of the things I get really, really tired of hearing is about white privilege, okay? Because my parents were divorced in 1973, and the oddest thing is they just got back together, or they moved. They're not really together like that, but my mom moved in with my dad 50 years after the fact, and he didn't want to see her suffering because she was having a very difficult time making it, and so it's not really so much of a connection like that, but they're sort of just taking care of each other. And to me, I mean, that's a good thing. Both my dad's wife passed away last April, then my best friend did, so right after. So it's been a rough couple years since 2020, and that's when my wife passed away, was in August the 26th, 10 days after her 49th birthday on the 16th of August. She went on a road trip with my cousin's wife and her nieces and a couple of the girls, and they all went to Gatlinburg and, Pigeon Forge. They came back. She went on a little wagon thing with her brother where they went and looked at covered bridges, sorry, not wagons, covered bridges up in northeast Ohio. If you've heard of Geneva on the Lake, and out that area. Though there's wine, what they call wine country. There's a lot of wine, grape vineyards up there, and they make a lot of wines up there. Anyway, she came back home, and I lost her. She came back home Sunday, and I lost her on Wednesday morning. So it was just like totally unexpected. But anyway, me and my niece were going to do this really as a comedy kind of thing. And the thing is, get back to the subject. I grew up in some poor neighborhoods, and there was times that I was actually poorer than the kid. I lived right down the street from the Shelby Street Projects. If anybody knows where that is, in Louisville, we lived on a street called Logan Street, and we were right down from the Shelby Street Projects. I mean, literally, I couldn't quite throw a rock to them, but they were that close, nearly. And I lived close enough, and I was poorer than the kids who lived in the project. So when I hear people saying about privilege and white, there's no such thing as white privilege. I had black friends. We went to the same schools together. When I got black family. There's all this talk is what's making me mad. And they talk about privilege. They talk about racism. None of it's true. None of it's true. I have friends my whole life who were black. I never just discriminated against anyone. And then all this thing about we're dangerous, we're going to do get up and hobble and chase you. This whole thing about making us out to be these bad guys. And I think the CEO of J.P. Morgan was just in Davos, and he sat there and told them, stop calling everybody who's going to vote for Trump an extremist, because it's just not true. Not everybody's out to get you. Not everybody cares what you're going to do tomorrow. I don't care what you do. I don't hate anyone. Nobody that I know, when I talk to people on Truth Social or Facebook, nobody I know is really out trying to hurt nobody. So that whole idea, and then you come on and then you start talking to us like some of you trolls. You come in and you start talking to us and make threats. I wish you were dead, or I wish you say things like that to us. And it's like, man, I don't wish anything on you. I wish you would leave me alone. Let me enjoy I'm free to enjoy my life. I don't need you in my life. You don't need me in your life. Leave it at that. Stop trying to put your business in everybody else's business. That's the problem. Because right where your rights end, where mine begin. You get it? Okay. Now that being said, this stuff about racism, it's a lie. It's a lie. This thing about toxic masculinity is a lie. If there's anything true about racism, I'll tell you what it is. And I keep hearing it in the news, so you can deny it all you want. Is that they hate white people now. White men especially. But let me tell you a little something else. And I'm not making excuses for white men or saying, nobody owns slaves that is alive now. So a lot of this is just a negative kind of connotation to everything that's happened over history. Nobody here is responsible for all that. Nobody's responsible for what happened 100 years ago or 200 or 300. None of those people are alive anymore. First off, this is garbage about a patriarchy. What's that? There's no patriarchy. If there's anything, there's class warfare. The people who have the money are up here, and they're dangling some of y'all like little puppets and having you attack everybody who is not doing anything to you. And they're saying, oh, look over there, attack. They're holding your leash. You have no business attacking people who've never done anything to you. I've seen what you've done to people who are going to Trump rallies peacefully. I've got pictures of them, and then what do? Y'all take pictures of them when they're mad and take a angry face. Well, I got pictures of them y'all burning down cities. So there's a lot of difference between what you have done and what we've done. And if you want to keep saying January 6th was an insurrection, you're an absolute idiot. Okay, you're an idiot. No time in history did a people rise up against their government, especially now, the government of the most powerful country in the world. You think the people would have went there unarmed if they were planning a takeover? You're a liar. You're lying to yourself. You listen to the news because you got this hate for a man who never did anything to you. What did he do to you? They've been feeding junk into your ears. Oh, hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. And you start going, hate Trump, hate Trump. It's the orange mad bad syndrome. Trump never did. Look, I didn't even like the guy years ago. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like him. I just didn't. I thought he was a little snarky. When he did, you're fired, get out, And after years of listening to him talk, my attitude changed. Because I've been in that business situation. I had to fire people because of stupid things. And I'll just give you an example. I managed a record store for a while. And a girl was standing there talking about stabbing a preppy in the neck with a pencil in front of my other customers. So if you think I didn't have a just right to fire the girl, you're out of your mind, okay? That's the thing. You don't know what somebody else thinks. You can't sit and tell me I'm racist when I know better. Oh, just because he's in denial. No, it's not because I'm in denial. It's because I'm not. I have family who are black. I have nieces who are black. I have cousins who are black. And you know how I treat them? Same as I treat the rest of my family. So your lies about racism, misogyny, all this other crap, it's garbage. I love my wife. We got married in 2001. I met her in 2000. We got married in 2001. I stayed married to her until 2020, the day she died. I loved my wife. We almost made it 20 years. We were at 19 and almost a half years, right? Because our anniversary is April the 7th, and she died in August the 26th. So we didn't quite make it to 20 years. My thing is going over everything here, and I keep hearing this thing about calling everybody an extremist because they're not you, because they don't agree with what you say. Back in the day when we had a disagreement, if we didn't like each other, we just walk away. Just walk away. If you don't agree, walk away. That's your right. Your right ain't to make me accept you for what you want. That's you. That's all on you. You can't make me do what you want me to do. You see what I'm saying? That's not my freedom. You're invading my freedom by trying to make me do what you want me to do. See, and you call us Nazis. That's what you are. Because you're trying to force us to accept what you are, and we don't have to. Hey, I'm free. I'll go this way. You go that way. There's no I have to follow you or I have to do what you do. I don't have to. Nobody does. The thing is, everybody in this country is free. Our rights were granted not by the Constitution. They were declared to be God-given, unalienable rights by the Declaration of Independence. And everybody always says, my God-given and inalienable rights. It doesn't say that in the Constitution. It says it in the Declaration of Independence. That states right there that your rights, unalienable, literally means cannot be removed, cannot be taken, stolen, or even given away. You can't. They're unalienable. That means permanent, like there. See? So when they say, I'm going to sign this piece of paper and take away, no. Those chains of the Constitution are the government's chains. The First Amendment doesn't say Johnny has the right to say whatever he wants. It says Congress shall make no law. The Second Amendment doesn't say Johnny has the right to have an AK or an Uzi, but I'll bring up another point about that in a second. It says they shall not infringe on your right. It doesn't describe the right. It only says they shall not infringe on the right. You see what I'm getting at here? Okay, and now let's go back to that right because it was already declared God-given and inalienable. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Now, how are you going to pursue happiness if you don't have liberty? How will you pursue either if you're not alive? You see what I'm saying? So in that order, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. You have to protect that life. For that reason, you were given the right to defend your life. That is not really, even though it's codified by the Second Amendment to say you have the right to defend it, it is still granted or declared God-given, unalienable by the Declaration of Independence. And why they stopped civics classes and why they stopped teaching kids about the Declaration of Independence in school at all. You can't hardly find anything in schools about it. They always teach you about this law, that law, the social studies, which they go to the socialist end of everything, see? Furthermore, here's two guns that actually were close to the first automatic weapons, and they were both created before the Second Amendment was ratified. And here's another misconception, is that when you have zero government, you have anarchy, okay? If you start from left to right, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to go from right to left. Sorry, backwards, right? Because right, all the way right, zero, to all we left, 100% government control. As you get more control from 0 to 100, at 0 you have anarchy, okay? It up to about a quarter, 25% or less, any government should be, but not 0. 0 is anarchy. But at that 1 to 25%, that's where your constitutional republic sits. Okay? And as you begin to take away more rights and you start taking away from other people, that's where you start going towards your democratic socialism and all that, and your 100% government domination. As the closer you go, and you keep saying we're Nazis and we're far right, well, far right, we would be at 0. We would be anarchists, and I don't know any conservative who's an anarchist. I'm sorry, that's stupid. It's an oxymoron to say someone on the right wing is far right. It's non-existent. Now there's a European right wing. That's a totally different scale. See, because on their scale, everything is like on levels of 100% government domination between almost 100. You know what I mean? So it is all about government domination. We are not here in this country in that scale. There's a left and a right there. And then there's our left and right. And the sad part is our left is actually over here. Right is 0. And as you go towards that 100% domination, there's your government domination. There's your left wing. There's your fascist, socialist, Marxist, Leninist, all of them bundled together. And Nazism is right there. It's not on the right wing. That's a lie. It's a lie, and it's a provable lie. As you get more freedom and you want less and less government, that's not fascism, idiots. So let me explain that to you, okay? And anybody on the right wing, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people, the leftists, who might be listening to this show. You are the Nazis you accuse everyone of being. You. And I'll show you the scale. I'll put it up here just to show it to you. Another thing. You think the government is good. And here's where our disconnect is coming in, okay? Our government probably used to be a lot better. And you saying these things about America was never great, you're an idiot. Okay. Because this country, a lot of people fought and died to make this country what it is. My family, my father's side, they're French Canadian. They came from France to Canada. From Canada, they came down to Kentucky. They fought against slavery. They fought against the South in the Civil War, against slavery. And now you're saying we're all the race. You're a liar. You're lying about history. I mean, you start going and looking at Dr. Carol Swain. She does classes. Look, The Southern strategy didn't work when Nixon ran the first time. It didn't. He didn't win the South. So that whole thing is sort of a lie. And when they say all these people switched over because they were racist and they wanted to be in the conservative side, that's a damn lie too. Because what happened was one or two senators who were Democrats said, the Democrat Party is shit. So they left and went to the Republican side. It wasn't the other way around, okay? I don't care what you think. The KKK, neo-Nazis, Antifa, all of them are fascist and left-wing Marxists. They're on the left side. They're not over here, okay? We're not on that side, okay? All the radical groups that have ever existed were none on the right. None of them were on the right. Unless you're talking about some of the anarchists. Now, they're not conservative, though. See, because conservatives believe in a certain amount of law and order. And not too much, because what we have now is an overabundance of government, and that's thanks to Democrat policies. Because I'm going to tell you something else. The Democrat Party did not exist in the United States until 1828. They were not supposed to exist here. And if you don't believe me, you need to go study not only the Federalist Papers, which were written anonymously through the newspapers by Madison and a couple of the other founding fathers, and the Silence Do-Good letters were written by Benjamin Franklin. Start reading and listening to what they're saying. They didn't want anything to do with democracy. Democracy killed two of the greatest empires in history, Greece and Rome, in the BCs a long time ago. Okay, that party is older than dirt. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think this is such a special party? It's not. It's terrible. It killed two civilizations, and you're trying to kill ours now with the same thing again. This is not. It's nowhere in our founding documents do you find the word democracy. So stop saying this is a democracy. It's not. It's not a democracy. If our government officials run themselves in office as a representative democracy, that's one thing, but they're always pushing. See, you have the right. The consent has to come from you to let them push things. And it's the liberals who are pushing things further and further towards that. And do you think this is the dumbest thing in the world I've ever heard? This guy, he was Antifa or something. He says, I'm an anarcho-Marxist. Okay, you want to talk about an oxymoron? That gives me a headache thinking about it. You're going from zero government, right here, zero anarchist, to socialist. Anarcho-socialist is what he said he was, okay? How do you think you can be 100% government and zero at the exact same time? You gotta be stupid. Stupid. You can't be both. And if you think you're gonna get to the point where you push everybody over here and then it's gonna be free for you, you got another thing coming. You don't know. If you look at the story, and I'll tell this again, if you go back to Rush Limbaugh and look at he did a story about the Mayflower Compact. It's called The True Story of Thanksgiving. He's got a video on YouTube. You should go watch it. The True Story of Thanksgiving. Watch it. He explains it to you, okay? When they wrote the compact, they came here. Everybody got an equal share of everything. And then what happened was there were certain people who were working and making everything, okay? So just imagine now you want everybody to make your cars, make your radios, make your CDs, because the government ain't doing it for you. The government prints money, but government does not put the value behind the dollar. It's your work that does. When are you going to get that through your head? They do not make money worth anything. You do. When you build and you make, you create the value of that dollar. When you're giving them to you, they're taking your dollars and then charging you interest, which is another stupid idea. There were Irish slaves, and they were being sold long after the end of slavery here in America by the Ottoman Empire. It's fact. It's a historical fact that whites and blacks and everybody's been slaves, okay? At some point in history. I've got, you know how much stuff I got in me? Let me run it down to you. This is DNA proven. I have Native American. I have Hebrew. I have Egyptian. So I got another slave in me too. I get to see the Hebrew. You know, that we were slaves to the Egyptians. So, you know what I'm saying? I got my own little talk about crazy. You know what I'm talking about? But look, next is Chinese. I got Chinese and I got white. Okay. Now I got all these things in me. And you still lump all white people together. I mean, really what you're doing is wrong, because how many of you look at the different levels of black. You got dark blacks, because I had a good friend who was from Zimbabwe, and I swear he was almost purple. He was so black. And then you got a lot of these white black people here who are really super light skinned, because you're mixed. We're all mixed with something. See? We are all mixed here. We're all like family here. So why are you creating this division that doesn't exist? It's in your mind. And as soon as you stop pushing it, it's going to end. That's how you end racism, is you stop being racist. You stop making division. You're creating the fire when you light the match. When you throw the wood on the fire, you make the fire. You see what I'm saying? You're doing it. And you're letting them push you that way because that's what they want. You think the government's trustworthy? Y'all marched on them for 70 years on the left. 70 years you marched on D.C. talking about corruption, and now you're like, it was all Donald Trump. Man, Donald Trump did it. Lie. Okay? That man never did nothing. Could you imagine if you were him? You were him. You put up all these buildings. You did all this good stuff. You helped people out, and all of a sudden you run for president and everybody starts calling you a dirty dog. You know what I mean? You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it any more than he does. Nobody should be done like that. What y'all have done to him is a shame. It's a shame, and you should all be ashamed of yourself. But you don't know any shame, because you make up lies and you keep running with them, and you begin to believe your own lies because you repeat it enough times until you start doing it. And when you come back with this shit about us being brainwashed, I'm sorry, I do not watch TV. You see my TV is over there off. You don't hear it. It's not on. It hasn't been on. I haven't, because of this crap that's been going on with your agendas, I have not watched TV in probably about 10 years now. 10 years. Because I can't stand to sit there and people talk about white, that's everybody. And then you take and put white people out of commercials. You put black people in there. And then when you show a white guy, you make him look stupid. On top of that, then you look at like your grocery stores. You took Uncle Ben off the box. You took Aunt Jemima off. And I'm Native American, so you took the Native American off of the Land O'Lakes butter and the butter products. Look, how many years is it going to be before you're coming back saying, hey, look, we have no representation. We have no representation on this. See how that works both ways? Now you're going to come back and say, oh, we don't have any representation on any products on the shelves. But you did it. You understand that you're your own worst enemy? That's what you are. That's what you do. Everything that you call us is what you're doing. We don't hate you. We respectfully disagree with you, but you wanna do terrible things when we disagree with you. That's the problem with you. Okay? We don't hate anyone. I know very few people, and as a matter of fact, and I keep saying this, the last really truly racist person I met was in Georgia in 1980. That's how long ago it was. Okay, so all this stuff about all these groups and all that crap, I haven't even seen them. I've been all over this country. I lived all over the East Coast, from Houston, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee, to West Palm Beach, Florida, to New Jersey, and now I'm in Ohio. Hey, I have not met any of these racist people you're talking about. To me, you all are acting more racist towards us. And it's a thing. Let me tell you something else. The white race, whatever you sit and think, and y'all say all this stuff about minority just because we have a majority here in America, in the whole world, whites are about, I think it's about 10%, and blacks are about 12%. So we are the minority already. We had a majority in this country, but y'all are trying to mess that up too, see? Because y'all don't want us to own anything. That's what it is. And see, again, I know that there's all this controversy about what they did to the Native Americans. Some of this land was sold to the white people by the Native Americans. So there's a lot of give and take there. And the Indians were killing each other and enslaving each other too. So acres, like I said, there's no land in this world that hasn't gone through wars and, people fighting for it, You all have to stop this. We've tried to reach across the aisle. When I try to communicate with you or just tell you something, you go straight to ad hominem, then you want to insult somebody. And, and it's gotten all of us to the point where we're just sick of listening to you. Because you all say the same exact thing, and you sound like a broken record, repeating the same dumb crap over and over again about, oh, we're racist, oh, we're violent, we're this. No. I just want to live my life peacefully. I want to go move out of this house because I have a lot of bad memories, good and bad, living here in Ohio, and plus my asthma. I want to move south, down south, and I have some very just good ideas about where I want to go. I want to head out south, like around South Carolina, but I want to run my businesses, and I want to be left alone. I'm not coming to your house or John's house or Fred's house, or I'm going to move to my own house, and I want to start, actually I already have all the stuff to make my businesses. I live in this HOA here that won't let me do anything. So, after I became disabled, so that it's just making it 10 times harder for me to make a living here because I got this HOA and these bylaws, and here they don't even keep them themselves. So I sued them in court, won the court case, filed, and then they started retaliating. I filed cases with three complaints with FHA, got a case with this. I filed a complaint with the Attorney General of Ohio. I filed a complaint with the one of our senators here, Dave Yost, and who was it? Dave Yost. What's his name? Frank LaRose. And then I filed a complaint with tried to file a complaint with J.D. Vance. Okay, so I filed all these complaints and nobody was doing anything. Then somebody said go to the FTC, so I filed a complaint with the FTC. Now there's an FTC complaint on them, and I hear they will actually do something. So we'll see. They violated their own laws. They not only violated their own bylaws, but they violated the state or federal law, FHA. That's a Fair Housing Act laws. Okay, so they started retaliating on me. So you know what? I had no choice but to turn them in. But here's the thing. I want to get out of here. I want to just go move somewhere. I don't want to be harassed by anyone. I don't want to be told that I can't put wrought iron on my garage door, or if I can't put a flag in my front yard. Leave me alone. It's not hard. Every American in this country feels the same way. Just stop messing with our money, stop messing with our property, stop messing with our lives, and leave us alone. That's it. It's not hard. Stay out of our business. If you want to be productive, here's an idea. Why don't you stop wasting resources? You pretend we're running out of resources, which is another lie. I'm not even going into that. Well, here, maybe I will go into it. You pretend we're running out of resources, but you same companies, you woke companies are building crap and giving it to the people, so they have to come back and buy it in 5 years while you're making and some raping our bank accounts and then charging us taxes, and then we get paid, we pay taxes, and then we go to the store, we pay taxes with the same money that was already taxed. We go get gas, we're getting more money taken out of the same money that was already taxed. It's ridiculous. The IRS is corrupt. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. It needs to be totally revamped. There should be a fair tax across the board. The IRS should say bye-bye. I could say a lot more about the FBI, CIA, and the NSA and all them. They need to be cleaned out, because you start looking at things. There's things going on that nobody knows. And I'm gonna say Echelon, Project Echelon, they were listening to people over 50 years ago, and they do it to the satellites or whatever. They know. There's things they know that they'll never tell. But see, then they get like one person in the NSA listening to you. You got a corrupt person in the CIA going, hey, I got this client and he's got this problem. You got any information? So he goes and gets some phone records and he listens to the things this other person's talking about. Oh, that's where he hid that evidence, huh? And then they go steal your evidence. See, then you got nothing. And your case is gone. Bye-bye. Except for circumstantial. You think that's a joke? That happened to me. I filed a FOIA request, and I even have police documents that had that FBI guy's name on it. Actual police documents. So, it's a long story, but I'm not getting into that. But again, there's another example of my privilege. My privilege didn't save me from getting defrauded. Did it? You know? So, that I've gotten it from people my whole life. So this is, you know, and again, I'm not doing the pity party thing. I'm trying to continue. I started writing my books. I've been writing books for, my first book I wrote when I was 18. I wrote a book on reality called Reality, you know. And actually, it was smarter than any liberal I've met. So, and I thought it was naive when I went back and read it later on. But now looking at some of these idiots that are running around, I think it's 10 times, it would probably educate them. But unfortunately, that was lost in a fire. My second book was one called Rod of Iron, which I didn't finish. I set it aside and I started another book called Time Upon Time. I finished that one and I was about to get that one published. And I started another one called Return to Atlantis, and all of them torched, fire. Bye. So I wrote 2 books in the last, I think when I wrote Book of Dracula was, I think I finished it in October of 2022. And then I finished part 2 just this last year in 23. I actually went back and worked on it a couple times and reposted it, re-downloaded or uploaded it to the publishing services, and I don't have any advertisers. I can't afford advertisers. Whenever my wife passed away, let's just say she made some mistakes. No thanks to some other people giving her bad advice, so she takes most of the money went other places, just put it that way, and left me without the means to, and being disabled, sitting here and not now, can't work because of my HOA. I've been fighting with SS since 2020, and I burnt my finger last week, and anyway, I've done everything I can to keep going, you know. So since I can't run my side businesses, my other business is a chef business. Nobody's hiring private chefs right now, and they can't afford to, you know. So that's out anyway. And then HelloFresh did a lot to me because I started it. My chef business here in Ohio, I started in 2015, and that's the year I became disabled because I took another job and I got hurt. It's a long story. In 2015, I had surgery on my knee. In 2016, told me I had osteoarthritis in my knees, and they steadily went down. So from 2016, I still kept working until 2020, and then the COVID came because of my asthma. I took their leave and never got back to work, and so anything I try to do is like it's 10 times harder. I don't know how it's up that way. So I did have a little 401k that was my wife's. I took the money out, put it in my bank. Had to pay all the taxes, of course, on it as I took it out, you know, because when you roll over, when I first did it, I rolled it over. Then I found out, I wasn't making any interest. It was just sitting in my bank while the inflation was going like this. So I said, well, let me take some of it. I put it in gold and silver. Well, when you originally buy gold and silver, like through some of these American Hartford and Noble, I'm not advertising for them, but you spend a little bit more to buy it all, and then they store it for you if it's an IRA. Unless you want to pay the taxes on it, then you can order it, I'll get it, and then you have to pay them the taxes then. So all this money I put into the IRA stayed in a storage vault. And come to find out, they use the same storage company and the same location. So both places, the gold and silver I bought were in the same place. Okay. Anyway, come to find out, I started running out of money. So then I started having to cash that gold and silver in when it was down. So I lost money buying it, and then I lost money again having to cash it back out, and then paid the taxes on it. So then I was losing like triple, on it. So it's not good. I lost a lot of money, and if my wife had just made some different choices, what I would have done was I would have took all the money originally. I would have paid off this condo, sold it, and moved out of here. Just went somewhere and bought something small, and then I wouldn't have been paying the mortgage here. And I have property that she owns that I was tied up into. That's another story. It actually caused me not to be able to get help. So I couldn't even get help because this property she had is only partial ownership. So any of it, I can't sell it. Sorry, my video cut off. So anyway, so now I couldn't get help because of owning that property. I can't sell it. I can't do nothing. The only thing it's done is keeping me from getting any help, because everybody says, well, you own property. Property I can't sell. Property I can't do anything with it. I can't sell it. I tried to sell the interest on it, and they wouldn't let me. Nobody will buy it. Who wants to buy like half of a house, or part of 16 acres or 30 acres sitting way up in the hills? They got to have access to it, and the people who own the rest of it own the access. See, so it puts you in this weird where you can't do anything, And all I said, just buy me out of it. They're like, well, I can't afford to buy you out of it. Well, you're going to own not only the house you're in now, the house in Ohio, the house in West Virginia, the property, and part of some more acres. Anyway, there's 16 acres or 32 acres, and then 100 acres. So there's 5 deeds he would own, and all he had to do was buy me out. I don't even want the property. I don't want to take my wife's family's property from them. Just buy me out and let me go. And see, the thing is they had made a deal that we were supposed to move over to Bedford, Ohio, into the house, and me and my wife were going to keep it, and he was going to keep the properties in West Virginia. He tried to lie about it, but I sit right there and listen to him talking about it. And nonetheless, the will and everything, the trust and all that, finally they found it, and then I lost out on the house down there completely because they had it as next of kin. So I only had the property then, and then the other, there's two parcels down there, okay, in the house, which would have been 3, but I lost out on the house because it was set up as next of kin, even though my wife would have been half the kin. Then the house here in Ohio, which is what we were supposed to get, we were going to sell this condo and move over there. And she passed away, so it never happened. They never switched the names, and I've been in a battle since my wife passed away, trying to get SS, fighting with an HOA, fighting with everybody, my in-laws. I mean, I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So you don't have to do anything for life to crush you. Or the thing is, you just have to either get up and keep going, or lay down and surrender to it. And I'm not going to surrender. So this whole thing about, one, we're not racist, we're not Nazis, we're not misogynists, we don't hate you, but we hate stupidity. That's one thing I do hate myself, is stupidity and hypocrisy. There's another one. I hate hypocrisy and I hate stupidity, because you're accusing us of things and then you say we're not educated. Sorry, you say Donald Trump's not educated. He's got a high IQ. He's in the 99.99 something percentile. Most Republicans actually have higher education levels than, I know, doctors, lawyers, politicians, and everything that are on truth on Twitter and everywhere. Doctors, and you come on there and you say everybody's just a dumb hillbilly, dumb redneck, dumb Nazi, dumb fascist, dumb Russian spies, Russian bots. Is there anything you haven't called us? I'm just saying, it's stupid. It is. There's no point. It's like yesterday, we were all best friends. We disagreed, we shook hands, we walked away. We agreed to disagree. There was no reason for all this. And all of it is stupid, and there's people behind it. That's what you got to realize, is wake up and realize there's people pushing this, and you're letting them. They're letting them push you. Tell me, do you really think it's worth it to destroy the country you have to get a man who had nothing to do with the way it ended up to begin with? That's what you're doing. Because Trump didn't do it. Trump didn't set this country on the path it's on. Trump's trying to fix it, but you don't even want him to do that, because you've got this already notion in your head that he's leading you towards Nazi. No, he's not. He wants less government. Less government does not equal fascism, idiots. It's more government. 100%, remember? 0, 100. You know what I'm saying? Republic is right there, down there almost near 0. But the more y'all push to the left, the more government and the more programs they create to give you money. You see, that's socialism. That's what you're doing. And as you push further and further, you're going to end up being dominated. And let me tell you one last thing before I end this video. If you think for 1 minute that this government, or these people, the WEFs that are leading you to do the things you're doing, are going to keep you around, you're kidding yourself. You have nothing to offer them. See, you're just like a useful idiot to them. They'll use you until your time is gone, because you're no longer useful to them. You'll be expendable. All of you. You're going to be expendable, and you sit there and you want to act like we're not the ones trying to remove you from the world. You're trying to remove us. I'm not even going to go into Islam, because there's terrible things they've done in this world, and these, I know they're secular and non-secular, sorry, but it's the same animal, different heads of the same animal. When you get them all together, there's no separation there. Ones that are peaceful now, when they're with their radical brothers, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to follow them, because if not, they're going to be a victim of them too. So you listen to me when I tell you that, and this is not a lie. They are not here to make friends with you. They're not here to assimilate to our lifestyle. They're not here. They're here to take over. That is the ultimate goal of jihad. It's world domination, a world caliphate. That is the answer to all their dreams. That's what they want, to destroy you, idiot. I'm going to tell you that. Because it's true. I can't post the stuff I have on the internet because it's nightmarish. It's horrific. I've got pictures of people mangled. You know what? I'm not going to go into it because it's terrible. And 99% of you would walk away with nightmares for months if I showed you what I have. You don't know. These people are sick. Okay? They need to take their book. They need to revise it. They need a reformation, just like the Catholic Church had, because nobody in this world has a right to take another person's life because they don't agree with them. I'm sorry. I don't believe for 1 minute that there's a God who would say, you know what, I'm going to create this kind of person and this kind of, and I want you to go kill that other one over there because he's not like you. What, you think God who created everything would do that? Does God make the redbirds go kill the bluebirds and the bluebirds go kill the crows? There would be nothing left. If everything went and killed each other, there'd be nothing left. God did not do that. Sorry, fake prophet. Okay, take it how you want. He was a fake prophet, and I'm not even going to say his name because no God would have done that to the people he created. I wouldn't create something to kill half of it. You see what I'm saying? That's a mental issue. And that whole religion is mental. And it's a cult. Sorry. You're going to have to learn. They are not here. And I don't care if the ones here are. They're ignorant if they don't know. Non-secular, secular. They don't know if they have, because they haven't studied the books. If they don't know, they don't, what do? Say, oh, well, we're going to ignore the part where it says hide behind a rock and kill your enemy when he possibly passes by. We're going to ignore that part. No, don't. Anyway, I'm not sitting here just throwing rocks at Islam, but Islam phobia is a fear, okay? Let's get that straight too. A phobia is a fear of something. Now, I'm not afraid of anything. That's just the way it is. I'm not afraid of anything. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and let somebody come in here and start killing people in my country and doing what they do to their people. No, ain't happening. And I hope every American in this country feels the same way, because I mean they marry 6-year-old girls. I mean, there's something else wrong there too, you know. So I start to wonder if there's a connection between why they're trying to normalize this pedophilia and immorality with children. If they're trying to normalize it, and that doesn't associate to Islam somehow, you know, because that's what I wonder. I'm not saying that that's absolutely the case, but it seems
anyway,
like it.
You all take care, and I'll see y'all in my next video, and I'll try to rant a little less.